It's W9OY, and I was just on 40 meters, and I worked EK4AA in Armenia. This is my QTH in Florida. Here's EK4AA over in Armenia. And I thought I might describe one of the most salient features of the Flex 5000, and that's the antenna selector switch. My setup is that I have 3 vertical antennas that are in a triangle, and I have 1 horizontal antenna, and I'm able to access all 4 of those antennas using the Flex 5000 antenna switch. The 3 vertical antennas I use in the diversity setup, I can choose any pair of those antennas, which gives me slightly different patterns, and I can either null or peak any signals better. The third antenna is a 136-foot flat top up about 55 feet, and that's fed with open wire line. Antenna 1 is a 43-foot vertical in my front yard. RX2 in, which is another vertical that I have in my backyard. And then antenna 2 is a multiband vertical that I have on the other side of my backyard, and that constitutes the vertical lineup. And antenna 3 is the flat top. So I can choose any of these antennas from this band switch here. The Flex 5000 has a this is a shot of the back panel. As you can see, there's 3 antennas which are available. Each of these provides the RX in and 100 watts output for the transmitter. In addition, there's a jack for the 144 megahertz transverter. The transverter turns out to also include 440, and so if you install that, there's a new back panel that they put on that will have a 70 centimeter jack as well as a 2 meter jack. RX2 in is a separate antenna that goes directly into the RX2. RX1 in is a separate antenna input that can go into RX1. In addition, RX1 and 2 provide a loop feature, so you can break the receiver loop in RX1 and insert, for example, a bandpass filter or an additional preamplifier. Anything that you want can go in here. In addition, there's also jacks for an external transverter. So if you want to use the Flex 5000 as an IF, for example, for a 1296 station, the radio is already set up to do that. For the transverters, there's a VHF or HF that you can choose, and the VHF panel, the VHF setup allows you to set up all the various bands, including setting up the power output and such as that you need to drive a transverter. In this area, we see that there are 3 amp relay jacks. These are the jacks that control linear amplifiers, and there's 1 jack for each of the antennas. So you can control up to 3 linear amplifiers with the Flex 5000. This is the antenna selector screen, and as you can see, under RX1 there's no connection, antenna 1, antenna 2, antenna 3, and the RX1, and that corresponds to RX1 in and the 3 antennas. Under receiver 2, there's no connection, antenna 1 or RX2 in, so you can have 2 antenna inputs, or you can have the receiver tap onto whatever antenna is showing in receiver 1. That's called RX1 tap. In addition, the transmitter, you can choose any of the 3 antennas from your transmitter. You can have your transmit antenna be completely independent from your receive antennas, or you can lock those together. So when I changed from receiver antenna 3 and receiver 1 to antenna 2, the transmitter antenna follows. But if, for example, I had a series of beverages, I could have up to 4 different beverage antennas coming in on receiver 1, and then choose the transmitter antenna to be any of 1, 2, or 3. In addition, I can have beverage antennas or WHI 4 square or something like that coming in on receiver 2. You're able to substitute a preamp for the 6-meter aspect of the Flex 5000. If you check this, the preamp will the 6-meter preamp in the radio will turn off, and you'll be able to put in whatever preamp you want. And this control, RX1 out to RX1 in loop, is what controls the loop aspect. The preamp allows you to adjust the gain, so you can turn the gain up or down on the input of the radio. And these are the 3 amplifier switches. You can turn on amplifier 1, amplifier 2, or amplifier 3. And when you turn on an amplifier, you're also able to set the delay for anywhere from 0 to seconds if you have some old clunker amplifier that takes a long time to switch, so you don't hot switch. The antenna switch also, this is the simple mode operation, which means that this setup works manually on every band. You can, in addition, go to the expert mode, and the expert mode is a per band mode. So on 40 meters, I presently have receiver 1 going to antenna 3, receiver 2 going to RX2 in, and the transmitter set to antenna 2. If I switch to 80 meters, I have receiver 3, I can have antenna 1 on receiver 2, and I can also have transmit on antenna 1 if I want. Now this, when I switch bands from 80 meters to 40 meters, those antennas then follow. And I can do this for every band that I choose to operate. This makes the antenna switch a very, very powerful addition to your operating situation. Many people, of course, only have 1 or 2 antennas, but if you have a large number of antennas, you can develop very powerful systematic choices for given bands, and it's a very, very powerful and useful feature that the Flex 5000 provides. This is W9OY, very 7.3.